All right, welcome everybody. My name is Spencer Jones. I'm the head of AI at Morning Consult. Today, I'm going to be joined by Jeff Cartwright, our Chief Growth Officer, and we're really excited to walk you through getting started with Morning Consult AI. So we're really excited to be bringing this tool to you. It is free with a Morning Consult account. And in just a few minutes, Jeff is going to walk us through a ton of use cases going deep into the tool and all of the capabilities that it has. But we did want to let everybody know that you can, for a limited time, get full access to Morning Consult AI with a free account. So if you want to go to https morningconsult.ai, and I'm going to walk us through how to create an account if you do not have one just yet. When you get to that page, you should see our landing page here, and it's going to give you a little bit of details about what you can do here. We're going to talk about the depth of data that you can access. Up in the top right, if you are a pro subscriber and have created an account, reading there, you can just hit login and your existing Morning Consult account will grant you access. If you don't have an account yet, again, free, easy to create, takes about 30 to 60 seconds. You can sign up with your Google account, LinkedIn, or Microsoft, or if you prefer, continue with an email and a password. Once you have created that account, you'll be dropped on. You'll see this screen. Quick little survey just to help us understand you and how we can serve you better with this tool. Again, really quick, takes about 30 seconds to fill out. And once you do that, you will be brought into the application. All in all, that's about a minute of your time to get in, get access to this incredible tool. On the onboarding screen here, we're going to show you just a little bit of prompts that you can run. But again, Jeff is going to walk us through this stuff in a lot more detail. So I'm going to pause here with showing you the tool, and we'll wait for Jeff to come up in just a few minutes. All right. So again, morningconsult.ai, and create your free account today. So a little bit about this technology and what it can do for you. Morning Consult's technology helps companies understand what people think around the world in real time. The way we do this is with some of the most advanced survey research technology and one of the largest databases of consumer opinion out there. All of that data, 80 million survey interviews, 4.8 billion questions, incredible amount of data points, virtually infinite insights that you can pull out of that is available at your fingertips. All of these things can be pulled out within a couple of seconds using the AI tool. This puts the power of insights directly into decision makers' hands. No need for extensive research waiting time. Advanced researchers, just using the power of natural language, you can pull out insights on a global scale. This is built on Morning Consult's real-time data infrastructure, 30,000 daily surveys in 40 plus countries, and over 5,000 tracked brands that are constantly being added. We are always pulling the most relevant, up-to-date survey data to generate context-rich and accurate responses, unlike a traditional AI model, something like ChatGPT, which relies on an outdated and static data set. And all this available, again, just in natural language. Formulate standard English questions and pull out data-driven insights instantly. We've seen some great early success with some of our launch partners. We've seen some folks, chief marketing officers at Fortune 500 companies, doing research in the tool, folks in healthcare, creative strategists at agencies, all using Morning Consult AI. One person came in and spent about 2 hours in the tool, asking over 90 questions, using it as a thought partner to pressure test their strategy in real time. And it's a global tool. Again, we have clients of ours working on a global scale, understanding their brand at a global level. So really excited to be showing you all this tool today. And from here, I'm going to be passing it over to Jeff, to walk us through some more advanced use cases in the tool.
Great. Thank you, Spencer. Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff Cartwright. I'm the Chief Growth Officer. I get the fun job of showing off this tool. So make sure to sign up for an account. You can do everything I'm about to do yourself as well. Our stage manager here has dropped access to that link in the chat. While I share my screen, so as Spencer mentioned, our AI tool is built on our proprietary data set. We've asked over 80 billion survey questions since Morning Consult has began. So the wealth of data that is available in this platform is pretty incredible, but that also means it's a structured data set. The ability to query a structured data set like this means that we're not going to have hallucinations. It's only going to be giving you real data, true data. So before I get in and dive in and start asking some questions, one thing I want to highlight, for those of you who are familiar, we have an intelligence platform. This is our platform that has all of this data. It's where you're able to build dashboards with this data, share information, build your own custom audiences. But everything I'm about to show you is just essentially the tip of the iceberg of what's in the intelligence platform. So one of the first things that I always like to point people to orient themselves around how to best use this chat is one of the things that we're doing every single day is we track 5,000 plus brands in 40 countries. We're asking full funnel metrics, everything from awareness to net promoter score, to purchasing consideration, to community impact. And so for any of those brands we're asking, you can ask our AI chat to show you the key metrics. So we're going to pull up example of for Chili's, which has been in the news a lot lately. What this is now doing, right, is it's going into our data set, looking about anything we ask about Chili's and pulling it up. And so you'll see here, right, you get answers on net promoter score, purchasing consideration, awareness, favorability, trust, usage frequency. And on top of that, our AI writes analysis for you. So not only do you get to look at the data, but we're helping give you that speed to insight almost immediately so you can get an understanding of the brand. Something that's been very interesting with Chili's in recent is how much they've been leveraging TikTok to grow their brand. So one of the things you can do, for example, since we're conducting so many surveys, is go deeper into demographics. So you can say, show me this among Gen Zers on TikTok. We collect about over 1,000 different demographic or psychographic questions. You're able to cut the data in any which way that you want to find those key audiences. So for example, what you're seeing here is it's now looking at people, it's now looking at those different metrics among people who are of Gen Z age, Gen Z adults, and their TikTok usage as well. So this is a very interesting overview. You can see, great, how am I doing across these different metrics? But really, how has this changed over time? So you can continue to converse with the AI. So please show me this over the last 6 months. Morning Consult, we have data dating all the way back to 2017, depending on the brand that you're looking at. So here you start to see a lot of that increase that we had mentioned in terms of awareness, in terms of usage for the brand. Now, obviously, it's great to know about your own brand, but you might want to understand the competition as well. And so what we can ask is, once it's done giving us the analysis here, show me purchasing consideration among Chili's and Olive Garden over the last 6 months. And there you go, right? It's pulling that up. So you'll start to see the tick up. Now, this is among the general population. So you always want to make sure you're checking the demographics and making sure it's answering the questions you want. For example, let's go ask about what about among Gen Zers on TikTok? Great. So there you go. You start to see that switch that we had mentioned, that Chili's is really taking an aggressive, smart strategy on TikTok. So it's really reaching those generations. And so that's exciting to see. So that's just one example of one brand. Like I said, we track 5,000 plus brands. And if we're not tracking a brand you want to track, you can always reach out to us. We're adding new brands every single day. In addition to being able to dive into those brands, we also know people like to get a lot more granularity into their data. So, for example, what we can do is we can look at, we've so far looked at it at the national level, we've looked at it among a certain demographic, but we can also start to look at it either by the national, state, or city level. So we could say, show me Chili's favorability on a state by state map. Because of the size of data we are collecting, we're able to do state level data like this, right? So you can see how well it's performing here in the South versus in the Pacific Northwest, right? And so you have almost in a couple quick seconds have an immediate view into how the brand performs across the entire United States. But let's say you want to understand even more granularity. Let's say you're running a new campaign. We can ask, how about in Dallas and in Houston? You can go all the way down to the MSA level. Here you get a comparison of Chili's favorability in Dallas and Houston. We could do this abroad as well, right? Chili's doesn't operate as abroad, right? But we could go ask about show me PlayStation brand metrics in Tokyo, Japan. And here you go. Your region is Tokyo. If you ever have questions while you're using this, we have a help and support center over here where you can get a understanding of some prompts to get you started, the data that this chat uses, all the different demographics. You can also interact with the chat itself. So let's say you want to understand media habits or media channels. You can ask the chat directly, right? So here's an example of that. And what it will be able to do then is give you exactly what we're asking in that specific place. So here it gives you some of those examples. I think the final thing I will leave you all with here in terms of how to best use this is the best thing you can do is experiment with it. And if you're not getting the answers you want, please reach out to us. We're constantly looking for feedback on this platform, how we can evolve it, how we can make it even better as well. But with that, I think we already have some questions coming in, so we can pivot over to questions. All right, Spencer, we have a couple coming in here. The first question we have, and I'm happy to take this, do you have a full list of brands you track? Can you add brands? So yes, we can add brands if you reach out to us. We can definitely add brands. We do have a full list of brands that we track. We can share that after this call with anyone. So I'll share my screen again just to give you guys an overview of how many questions we ask. All right, so these are the different brand questions I was mentioning before, and you can really see what they are. But in addition to that, you can see all the different brands we're tracking, right? Things from, truck rentals to gyms to craft beer to energy drinks. We have over 5,000 brands we track across the 43 different markets that we're doing daily surveys in. So a really, really wide variety of brands, all from new and emerging to traditional as well. All right, Spencer, I'm going to throw this one to you. Is data from your content available in here or any other data sets?
Yeah. So we do publish a variety of content on the data set that you see here available. And across 2025, we are going to be expanding the data set that is available inside of Morning Consult AI to be more reflective of the content that you see in Morning Consult Pro. And we will also be adding in the ability to search and understand the Morning Consult Pro, the published content that we have publicly available or as part of the subscription as well. So in short, stay tuned across 2025 as we start to dramatically expand those data sets.
Great. Yeah, we have a couple other questions somewhat related to that. One was asking about wanting to track flavor or cuisine trends or track current issues or industries. As Spencer mentioned, right now, this is a really powerful tool for understanding brands and audiences and even some brand or political and economic data. We're going to be constantly adding new data sets here. So if you have any specific data sets that you would like to be querying about, so for example, like cuisine trends, please send us those and we'll make sure that those are included in our product roadmap. We have some cool ones coming out in the next few months, a bunch focused on sports trends or retail and food and beverage trends or worker trends. So we're going to be constantly adding more and more data sets. All right. What's the difference between this and Morning Consult Intelligence? So Morning Consult.ai is available to all of our Morning Consult Intelligence subscribers. It is also now free for a limited time. But really, it's the starting point. It is the part where you're going to start to understand the data we have and get some of those instant answers to those questions that you care about or the stakeholders that you're trying to address care about. If you want to create custom audiences, if you want to save charts, download data, have a more robust analytical experience, that's where Morning Consult Intelligence comes in. We're also developing AI agents as well as other tools like that will only be available to intelligence customers. Spencer, did I miss anything on that?
You got it. Perfect.
Okay. Someone asked about the deck and recording being available to attendees. Yes, you guys will get a link to the deck and recording after today's presentation. All right, we have a question here on free for a limited time. How long and what will the pricing be moving forward? We don't have a current date that we're broadcasting out there publicly. We actually want to get a lot of feedback, and that's why we're releasing it free for a limited time right now, so we can continue to get the type of feedback. So more to come on that front, but we don't have a specific timeline set right now. All right, I think we've cleared through most of the initial questions. Spencer, is there anything else you would like to add?
Yep. Someone did ask a bit about tracking industries. So all of the brands are associated to an industry. And so you can ask questions about industries and understand, say, how brands rank within their industries among their competitors and items like that. So it is pretty good for industry analysis as well.
Yeah, and maybe we can show that as a quick example so folks can see it. So we could do, for example, rank auto brands among those who make 250K plus. And just like that, you'll see how quickly, of course, Porsche comes out on top. All right, all. That's it for our quick tutorial on how to get the most out of our AI tool right now. Please keep sending great feedback. We'll keep you on the loop as we add more and more data sets to this. If you have any questions or thoughts as you dive into the platform, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's all I have. So thank you so much. Thank you, Spencer.
Thank you all.
All right.